Donald Trump just named a Fox News host as his Secretary of Defense for his incoming administration. I'm not kidding. In a new statement, Donald Trump said, "I am honored to announce that I have nominated Pete Hegseth to serve in my cabinet as the Secretary of Defense." And when talking about his career, he also made sure to point out that Pete has been a host at Fox News for 8 years. Folks, a Fox News host is going to be the next Secretary of Defense. Secretary of Defense. If it wasn't already abundantly clear, Donald Trump is just picking his buddies to serve in his administration. They don't need to be qualified. They don't need to be knowledgeable on the department that they're running. The only qualification is that they love Donald Trump. I truly hope that one day Trump supporters will recognize the mistake that they made, because now we have a Fox News host running the Secretary of Defense along with the other terrible appointments that Donald Trump has made thus far.
I did run for office in Minnesota, and I lost. In fact, I got crushed. I would have been a terrible senator. I was still young. I was politically out of touch. I loved the establishment and was really good at regurgitating scripted talking points like a teleprompter. But thankfully, the freedom-loving Republican voters of Minnesota saw right through me and made sure that I stayed the hell out of Washington.
Pete Hegseth, the guy on the couch, is Donald Trump's selection to be the Secretary of Defense.
And we are all, friends with Pete. We've known him for a long time. The military is his world. I mean, that is his mission in life. He was in the Army National Guard infantry. He was an infantry officer. He served tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. He was a guard at Gitmo. Mm-hmm. He had 2 Bronze Stars, combat infantry badge.
And he used to run Concerned Veterans for America as the CEO. Of course, he was 10 years here at the Fox News Channel. Has a degree from Princeton and Harvard. So when you look at the former, now the president-elect's thinking, Pete just finished an entire book taking on the military,
right,
the wokeness in the military, what's been going on in the military. Always been a friend of the former president, and he wants someone to go in there that's going to clean it up and focus on the mission, which is to keep Americans safe, not targeting the men and women from the inside, but the people foreign.
And I think he's going to keep Elon Musk and very close, because they got to be cutting. They got to we're going to talk about that. They got to be cutting. They got to make government more efficient. They're going to try the best they can. They're 2 of the best in the country at doing it. But I also think that I remember when Mattis took over, and everyone's like, well, he's used to fighting wars. How's he going to do it? What you do is you have a great chief of staff or assistant deputy secretary of defense that knows the ins and outs of it. And what you have in Pete is a guy that goes into, instead of just going into the military, goes into the infantry like Tom Cotton. So he knows Iraq. He knows Afghanistan. The other thing he knows is Israel. And he's been there like 7, 8 times, done multiple specials there, has a real passion for the region and understanding of the challenges in the West Bank and Gaza, not just on pro-Israel. I understand the region. So I think it's a fascinating pick. And you don't realize how qualified he is until you really look at the resume.
President-elect Donald Trump stunned the Pentagon and the broader defense world by nominating Fox News host Pete Hegseth to serve as his defense secretary, tapping someone largely inexperienced and untested on the global stage to take over the world's largest and most powerful military.
Donald Trump is picking the best people he could possibly pick. Pete loves this country. He has served this country. He's a true patriot. And his heart is always in the right place. And he will serve with vigor. He wants to protect this country. He knows the issues. You've got to love somebody who put it all on the line, put the uniform on, got out there, has loved our veterans, worked tirelessly, behind the scenes to help veterans, protect veterans, take care of homeless veterans, and honor those who have given their life. You could ask for nothing more.
Fox News host and Army veteran Pete Hegseth has been tapped for defense secretary, and he has a lot of ideas when it comes to the military.
Any general that was involved, general, admiral, whatever, that was involved in any of the DEI woke, it's got to go. I'm straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles. It hasn't made us more effective, hasn't made us more lethal, has made fighting more complicated.
What problem are you trying to solve? We have the most lethal, the most respected, the most feared military in the history of the world. And so when you start trying to solve non-existent problems with the best fighting force in the world, you actually create problems. And I don't think there's any evidence or any data that shows that having women involved in our military has made our military worse. Where is the evidence of this? This is all fiction, it's all ideology, and it's all quite frightening. He's a Fox News host who used to be in the military. If that's the standard we're going to be going with, I think it's very alarming.
If Hegseth is confirmed, he'll be the most spectacularly unqualified person ever nominated and ever confirmed to this position. He has virtually zero experience, virtually zero qualifications or credentials for this job. Every chief of defense, every defense minister, from Russia to China to Cuba to Venezuela, pick a nation, is going to look at this and go, he's a pretty boy from TV. I have to wonder if perhaps he's a stalking horse candidate, that Trump is putting him out there simply to draw a lot of fire, and then he'll name someone else who might have a tough time getting through, but has more credentials than this guy does. The incoming president wants to not just shake up, but virtually destroy the senior ranks of the military. And if you don't follow Donald Trump, then you aren't qualified to be in his military. That is just such a departure from this country's tradition, history, and the very foundation upon our democracy. That is that the military is out of politics. This is a clear installation of a purely political figure with zero credentials in the most senior position in the military.
This is our current Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, and this will be our next Secretary of Defense. Having an outsider as SecDef might cost Lockheed Martin or Boeing a couple billion-dollar contracts, so unsurprisingly, people like Senator Warren are very mad, saying a Fox and Friends weekend host is not qualified to be the Secretary of Defense. She then yaps about, I don't know, whatever this is, and says that Trump's pick will make us less safe. I guess we're supposed to just ignore his degrees from Princeton and Harvard, his multiple military deployments. Ignore all of that. Obviously, we would be much better off with Lloyd Austin.
So Donald Trump just appointed a Fox News host as the Secretary of Defense. I mean, he was in the military for a little bit, but he wasn't even that successful. That's like if the person that was the equipment manager for the Patriots ended up being the coach.
You are a veteran. You also sit on the Armed Services Committee. So we want to get your reaction to Donald Trump's nomination of Pete Hegseth to run the Pentagon. He most recently, of course, a Fox News host. Do you believe he is qualified to lead the Department of Defense?
This is an incredibly serious time in the world. It's an incredibly serious cabinet position, and I don't think Hegseth is a serious person and a serious pick. And sadly, it's not surprising coming from Trump, who dodged a draft 5 times, called our troops suckers and losers, insulted Gold Star families, Medal of Honor recipients, trampled on the sacred ground of Arlington National Cemetery. And I'm not surprised that he picked a Fox News host rather than someone who is going to understand the seriousness of the moment. I'm very concerned about what this means, because we've even seen today reporting from the Wall Street Journal talking about executive orders that are essentially military purges, political purity tests, when our military has always been apolitical, nonpartisan patriots, not a political military. And it's a very dangerous road that we could head down. And on the armed services, I'm going to be incredibly focused on the Armed Services Committee, making sure that we don't go down that road.
Is it me, or do Trump administration picks look like these guys? Tell me if I'm wrong. He putting together a team that can save the world, just not the economy, the world. Then he got Elon Musk, okay? His role is to see what the government been doing with our tax money, okay? And I'm here for it. Because Elon needs to let me know if they've been spending my money on illegal immigrants. I want to see how much money they had on those food stamp cards and those vouchers. And if they've been sending my money to the prison so men can get transgender surgery. Or you've been using my money on alien experiments, UFOs, TikTok, conspiracy theory. And you got the House and the Senate? Man, He taking over the world. This team looks like they're going to conquer the world, just not the economy, okay? They got Elon Musk to conquer the sky. They got JFK to conquer the food. They got Tom Hartman to conquer the border. What's next? Where's Aquaman? Because that's all who you missing. He going to be conquering the ocean? And Trump, you must be Thanos. This is one hell of a team, and I'm here for it. Trump 24. The Avengers 2.0.
This is the first time in history that a news anchor got picked to be in the government. This will be interesting. Tell me your comments down below about the new Secretary of Defense.